Hi guys, how's everybody doing? Let's do a little test. Uh, we're gonna try a pasteurization method for bottles. Now, the conventional way that most people do it is they put their bottle in 180-degree water for 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, whatever you think is best. And you need to get the internal temperature to 140 degrees for 15 minutes to be 100% sure that all the yeast have been killed. Yeast start dying off at 120 degrees, but 140 degrees is overkill. You don't want to take a chance of your bottles exploding, making bottle bombs. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use cold water. We will, and this is just an experiment. This is going to simulate what would happen if we had cider, because I'm making some yummy hard cider and I want to carbonate some of it and put it in my bottles. Okay, so that's about the level that it would be filled to. So we're going to stick that in, and we're going to start off probably a little colder than what the temperature would usually be. Let's go a little more. We kind of overfilled that bottle even just to, that's right about the right level, what it would be if it was filled up. And we're going to close one bottle. As we can see, the cold water is like 52 degrees. That's a lot colder than most room temperature would be. I think we can safely say that. So what we're going to do is, see, we have a closed bottle and we have a full bottle, the top open. We're going to use this for control, and now run our tap water and get it nice and hot. Most tap water, yep, I got some yucky stuff in the bottom of my basket. There, it's a little better. Most tap water is 140 degrees. And we are going to let this run until it reaches that. We'll take a temperature reading to make sure. My water takes forever to heat up. And what we're doing is some of the issues you run into doing it with 180 degree water is you're going from room temperature to 180 degrees fairly quick. And so that's a shock. And we're using glass. And this is glass that's made to take pressure. And so it's tempered and it'll withstand some heat as well. Just like your mason jars here. They are rated for a certain amount of pressure. Okay, we're starting to heat up now. So let's put the thermometer on here. And let's take a look at our temperature. Okay, we're right at 140. 142. Okay. My water's pretty darn hot. Okay, so we're just gonna fill this up, and these are 16-ounce bottles. Most people will tell you the 180 method you can only pasteurize 12-ounce bottles. So this gives you the ability to consistently and in a safer way pasteurize 16-ounce bottles. And as I already said, you're killing off the yeast. That's what's pasteurizing. So it's not really like a true pasteurization where you're heating it to 212 and boiling it, or even you can pasteurize it at higher temperatures if you use steam or pressure. But for what we're doing, pasteurizing yeast, like I said, we need to get to 140. Now, let's just go ahead and plop this thermometer in here. I'm going to set, I'll leave this control ball off to the side. I'll set the one with the closed lid a little closer to the center, and it'll be just a little bit, or maybe I can fit them both on there. No, not really. So this one's going to be not quite as full, or not quite as covered. Now, when you put these in the pot, and I have a 16-ounce stock pot, and I'm going to take a temperature reading kind of towards the top, because I need the whole bottle, the liquid level, to be submerged in hot water. If you don't do that, you take a chance on not getting some of that hot enough, and a couple of those little yeast will live, and them suckers multiply quickly. We know that, and we will be in trouble. So what I'm going to do is, about halfway through this first sink bath, I am going to start heating my water. That way it'll be ready right at 150 about the time that these are ready to go in the pot. And I've already checked the water level with the bottles, 2 bottles submerged in it, so I know I'm at the right water level. So that's something you got to do. And so at the end of this first 20 minutes, I will come back and I'll show you what the temperature is, and we'll do the same at the end of the second bath, and then we'll show you that this method works consistently, and that's a little safer, and you can do bigger bottles. So see you when I don't know why I always say that, because for me it's a little while I'm gone. For you it's instantly. Okay, this is our first 20 minutes, and we are at like 127, something like that. 125-ish, that's fine. Let's see, that water's still pretty hot, so I'm going to use something to get rid of this. Okay, that's our first 20-minute sink bath. So now let's drain the water and not spill it. And then while it drains, I'm going to slightly turn this on. That way we'll have some hot water ready available right away as soon as this drains. And let's see. We'll probably lose a little bit. I never paid this close attention to it, so we'll probably lose a little bit of temperature. Okay, so we're going to drain. Put our nice snazzy sink thing on there. Blast the water again. Now we're going to fill the sink up again all the way to the top and let it sit for another 20 minutes. And that'll give us an internal temperature of around 132 to 135. Let's see. Now, in the beginning of the video, I said most people's water goes to 140. That's the average temperature in America. If your water doesn't quite go to 140, say it only goes to 135 or 140, you might want to adjust your water temperature in your pot. And see, I've already started heating it up. We're at a little over 100 degrees. It takes, like I said, about 35 minutes to heat that up. So starting it halfway through your first sink bath is a good idea. That way it's ready to pop in just as soon as you can. I hope I haven't repeated that. I said that in the first segment of this video. But if your water, say your water only goes to 130, do exactly what I'm doing. Except I don't think you would have to do the second one, but you could, just to make yourself feel better. Do a test, go to 130, and maybe heat your water to 160 instead, or 155, and try that, and see what you think. See if it, you need an internal temperature of 140 for 15 minutes. So by having a little less hot water in your sink bath, you up the heat on this a little bit, but you're still not getting up to 180. So you're still doing the same thing, and you're still able to do the bigger bottles. That's the key. Doing 16-ounce bottles with a 180-degree heat bath is iffy. And you may not get to all your temperature right. So, and if you do this, and you say, and you have 130-degree water or 135-degree water, and you try it and it works for you, and whatever your temperature was in your pot that worked, and it raised your internal temperature like you wanted, let me know, and post that in the comments below so other people can see how that worked for you. But the majority of you are going to find out that if you've ever taken the temperature of water, it's 140 degrees. And let's see. So we've already started to climb just a little bit. And when the sink fills all the way up, like I said, at the end of 20 minutes, it will be to about 135-ish. See, we're steadily climbing right now. So we don't have to sit here and watch it fill. I'll be back when we're at the end of the 20 minutes of this next sink bath. Okay, we're getting pretty close to 150, and when it does that, I like to kind of stir this is a 16-quart stock pot. You could fit 6 or 7 bottles in here. 6 around here, 1 in the middle, or less. Any less will work, but that's how many you can max fit. So I like to stir the bottom up, because it's a big old pot of water, and you don't want the bottom like 180 degrees and the top just barely hits 150, you know what I mean? So we will do it the last little bit. I like to kind of stir it up till I get to right at 150. We are almost there. Shoot. Okay, I'm going to stop till we get to 150. Made a bet. I've knocked the thermometer off. Okay, we are not quite to 150, huh? It was a second ago. It dropped down. Let me stir it up. See what it says. Okay, we're 149, so we'll give it a second longer to hit 150. Getting close. Okay, let's see, our bottles that are in the sink bath are at like 135, 136 maybe. So we've only got 5 or 6 degrees to up that temperature. Okay, this keeps dropping down a little. Let's stir it. Okay, 150. So first thing, very important, turn off the heat. Remove your thermometer. Okay, then we're going to stick in the first bottle with the thermometer in it. Don't touch that with your fingers, it's very hot. Okay, now we're going to stick in the bottle with the lid on it. Get these kind of in the middle. And we're going to wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, Okay, about 30 seconds for them to hit 140. And what I like to do, I don't know if it's absolutely necessary, but I'm sure it helps, a little insulation, is I just throw an old towel draped around the pot. Be careful not get it right on the burners down there. You don't want to catch anything on fire. Okay, and now we wait another 15 minutes. And I have seen, there's a video, City Streets or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. I recently binged a bunch of their videos. They make wine, mead, and they do a very good job of explaining. And if you're new to brewing, I would suggest going over to those guys. They have a bunch of awesome videos. I'll post a link down below them. And I seen this method of how to do this pasteurization on Bearded and Board's channel, but he just showed doing it, and I wanted to show you that this works. Their channel, they put their bottles into one of those round coolers like you see on a job site, and put the lid on it. That way, if the bottle does fail, the lid's screwed on tight, and there's less of a chance of having any kind of bad issues out of it, exploding glass going everywhere. So there is some risks in doing this, but if you pay attention, do the times, do the temperatures right, it's not that much of a risk. So just be aware that it actually could be a risk. And so with that, I'm going to just shut it down and start my timer, which I'm going to start it for a little less than 15 minutes. But let's see, so probably been talking for 3 minutes. Let's just do it for 15 minutes. Okay, Google, set my alarm for 15 minutes. And it didn't work because the video's on. Okay, I'm gonna get out here and do that. Okay, we just hit the 15-minute and 30-second mark. I gave it an extra 30 seconds just because it takes 3 or 4 or 5 seconds for it to reach 140. Ooh, it's kind of hot. Let me use a pot holder. And what is our temperature on our bottle? The bottle that's open, the temperature is 165, almost 170. So putting the lid on it and the water being hotter at the bottom, even though we stirred it, it heated up a little more. So let's get that one out. Actually, we don't have to get that one out. Let's take this one out. Put it on a towel. I have granite countertops, so we don't want that to be cold. I don't think it would shatter it, but just in case, you know, better safe than sorry. Let's pop the top. Okay, and that's like way extra full than it needs to be. Let's see what the internal temperature of that is. There, it's going to 160. So 165. Well, there you go. 165 with the lid on. So now you know you can pasteurize 16-ounce bottles a little safer than doing it the 180 way. And like I said, I've heard I've heard it recommended several times not to do 16-ounce bottles, to only do 12-ounce bottles. I have never tried with a quart bottle. I don't have a pot deep enough to cover a quart bottle all the way, and that's something important. You have to cover the liquid level of the bottle. So that's just a must, because you want to make sure that entire bottle, all of it, reaches that temperature. And so let's recap. 2 sink baths of 20 minutes each. Halfway through the first sink bath, start your fire on your water, or if it's electric, turn your stove on. Turn the heat off at the end of your second 20-minute sink bath. I can't stress that enough. Turn the heat off. Do not heat these bottles directly from underneath with a flame. It can and will very easily explode. You do not want that. Turn the heat off. Put the bottles in. Put your lid on. Cover it with a towel. Wait 15 minutes, and you're all pasteurized. Take your bottles out of the water. Obviously, leave it capped. You can't open it and then take a temperature and then reclose it again. You just lost all your carbonation and your contamination and everything else that goes along with that. So leave it capped, and you can use the capped bottles as well. It doesn't have to be these flip tops, but the flip tops work. That's what I have. And let them cool to room temperature, and you can store them safely this way for probably I'm gonna say 4 months. And from that on, put it in the refrigerator. But once you put it in the refrigerator, you can't take it out of the refrigerator. It'll spoil on you. And you can save them to drink them when you like. Send them to your friends for gifts. Share them. If you make some yummy cider or whatever, and there you go. And the channel I was trying to remember earlier was City Steeding Mead and More. And they have like just an awesome amount of stuff on there for wine and mead. And they go from search around if you've never done it, and go. They have simple recipes to complex. They do small batches, just gallons at a time, 1 gallon at a time, and then they try to stick it to just simple ingredients that you can go out and get. And very informative. They go step by step. So if you're interested in home brewing, that's a great resource to get started with. And so that proves to you. See, we're still at 160. So that proves to you that this method of pasteurization works. So you can confidently do it. And if you do have a way to use a quart bottle like a cooler or something, and you try this, and it does get to 160, or it does get to at least 140 for 15 minutes. While you give it the water bath, the hot water bath, the 150, the third step. Same thing. Let me know in the comments. It'd be nice to know, and other people can know the same thing. So with that, I am going to sign out. Lots of love. Bye. Oh, please like and subscribe if you haven't already.